Welcome back to my podcast, you guys. It is your girl, Breeze, Lonnie, all of that. We in cheer tonight. I gotta take the glass off for this and just make my we in here tonight, and I have my special guest, and I'm so excited to interview him. This is episode 5, halfway through the season.
Come on now.
Episode 5. Super ready, super excited, and here we go. So, how you doing tonight, Chaos?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I got all my nerves out the way. I think I'm cool now. I think I'm cool. I'm still a little nervous. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna try to play it up.
Well, I thank you for coming to my studio and doing this with me.
Thank you for having me. I feel honored to be a part of it. Oh my gosh.
Absolutely.
Among such great topics and guests, and me, I feel good. Thank you.
Oh, yes. So, yes. So, let me start off like I start off all of my podcasts. Who is Solid T Chaos itself? Who is?
Well, Chaos itself. The T is silent like D and Django. I am a poet. I am a voice actor. I am a retired, trying to come back rapper. I am a budding actor as well.
Multifaceted.
A lot in my head, which comes from the Chaos name, because there's a bunch of stuff going on in my head at one time.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. It's so honest.
I mean, it's fun sometimes. Sometimes it's fun.
Okay, so I want to start off in your poetry journey. Like, What started your poetry journey? Like, what were you always a poet? Like, have you always write poems? Have you always written poems? Let me say, or is this something that came about over time? Like, what made you want to do poetry?
I was always a writer. At like a young age, I started rapping. So me and my friends, we would like get beats and write to them and rap to them and everything. But it was one time where I was in a rap group, and I was like, yo, it was a song that was called like What I'm Here For. Mm-hmm. So I was like, yo, I wrote a song like What Am I Here For? And I talked about like my purpose in life and all that stuff. And it was like, yo, we don't want to rap about that. We just want to like rap and just like have bars and everything. So I was like, all right, maybe I should just write stuff with some substance. And a lot of times songs wouldn't capture all of that. So there's a place in the area called Busboys and Poets where, they have open mics and poets go up and do their thing. And I saw it for the first time. I was like, yo, they're talking about exactly what I want to talk about. And I think I want to do it. But I didn't do it for like a while because I was scared. I was nervous. You know what I mean? But one time, there was a poetry spot called Poetry Night at Nipsey's with a poet named Just Me. And I saw about it on social media, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go. It was their very first show. I'm just gonna go. I went there, and I fell in love instantly. Like, I went up there, got on the list. I did a song that I wrote. It was about a deadbeat dad basically leaving 2 women right when they got pregnant. And I talked about how their kids were up, the son and the daughter, and how they resented him and how they should be much better with him in his life, but he left them. So I was like, all right, it's a song. I took the hooks out, everything was good. But then I saw other poets go up, people like Orville the poet, people like Lucky, and they just understood how to control the crowd. Like everything that they said connected with the crowd. They entertained them. They put something deep, made people think. I was like, yo, I really want to do this. So like from that day forth, I started rewriting a lot of songs to fit that poetry world, because it's a little different. Like, people, when you rap, people listen to your words, but then they like the beat, they like the hook, they want to dance, they want to move. But when you're in a poetry spot, they hang on every single word. They really, really pay attention. You can talk about anything that you want. So that's when I was like, yeah, I want to do that. And that was like quick maths, like 5 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, it's 5 years.
You've only been doing this for 5 years?
I've been doing poetry for 5 years. I've been writing like forever. But like poetry, spoken word poetry in front of people for 5 years.
Wow.
It's been an interesting journey.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, so I guess connecting the poetry, you said that you started out rapping. Did the rapping help with your poetry at all?
It helped and hurt a little bit.
Okay.
Because I love rhyming. Like one of my biggest influences is Eminem, and I love how he rhymes every single word with every single word. So that's the one thing I carried on to like poetry. Not a lot of poets rhyme. Some do, but like the poets that you might see on like Def Poetry or like Right About Now, like Button Poetry, they don't necessarily rhyme. They just say the poem and people connect with it. But I carry along that rhyme scheme, and that kind of sets me off apart because I sound like a rapper how I'm rhyming, but it's still kind of poetry because I'm talking about something deep. So rapping definitely helped me write. So I'm like, I can get my thoughts out kind of quickly, even though it takes me like forever to write.
Really?
Forever. There's like, it might take me 3 months to write a single poem.
Are you serious?
Like 3 months. 3 months is probably like the norm for me writing a poem. Probably the fastest poem I wrote was probably in like a week. But that was like something I was just like in the zone. It was crazy. But me rapping and rhyming helps me write the poetry. But like I said, it hinders me because like a lot of people don't really care about rhyming, especially like in poetry competitions, like slam poetry. They just want to hear what you're talking about. They don't really care if you rhyme 5-syllable word, but a 5-syllable word with 2 syllables inside of it. Like people don't pay attention. But I just like how rhyming sounds. So I just do it all the time.
So you prefer like a poem that rhymes versus a poem that's just...
But that's the thing, I don't. Like I enjoy poems that don't rhyme from other people. But for me rapping for so long, it's hard for me not to write and it not rhyme.
Got it. Okay.
So I just don't fight it. So I just like, it's gonna rhyme the whole time. That's what I do. Yeah.
So is most of your poetry based on you personally, like personal, or is your poetry based on like things you see, friends, situations, things of that nature?
Probably 10% of my poetry is personal about me.
Okay.
Everything is either from what I see from my friends, from what I see in the world, to stuff I completely make up in my head. Like, there's a poem I have called "Is It Weird That I Miss You?" And it goes through a whole relationship of like them first meeting, they having a great date, and then the girl cheating on him, and then him forgiving her. And I just made that whole thing up. Like I made it whole thing up.
It sounds like something you went through personally, so that's crazy.
Yeah, I get that I take it as a really big compliment. People like,
damn, I thought that was you.
Yeah. there's another example. There's a poem I got called Diary of a Deadbeat Dad, and I talk about me talking to my child's mother, like I need to see my child and you're keeping them from it, and like you're kind of ruining both of our lives. But I don't have any kids. So like I do that and people think it's real, and I think if I can make up something that connects with people emotionally and they think it's real, and I think that's a really good compliment.
I agree.
Thank you. I got people. One time I did it at one place, and like some girl invited me to like some father-child fun day, and I was like, oh my gosh, like yo, no, but I don't have any kids though, but I appreciate it. It was like, oh, right, right.
I'm there, you.
But yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's one
boundaries.
of it. Boundaries is very.
I learned boundaries. So important.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always try to teach people boundaries, and they just don't understand. That's the first thing I learned was boundaries.
That's the last thing I learned is boundaries. But it's a very valuable lesson. You taught me how to establish boundaries. Me? Yes, you. She did.
Y'all hear that?
She's teaching. She's teaching. Yeah. Like within the past year, I learned boundaries, and it really helps. Like it takes a lot of stress off. And it's like, it's freeing. You don't have to deal with certain things. You can just like, no, I'm not gonna do it. No.
Like I always say, when you learn the power of no, the stress just flies off.
It really does. No is very powerful.
No is powerful. You have to know yourself too, though. Like you have to know yourself.
That's a bar. I caught that. Look at you.
You gotta know yourself.
I'm about to step my bars up because she's gonna outbar me this whole night. I know. I can feel it.
Started. But no, seriously, you have to know yourself, and when you know yourself, like truly, you'll start to feel out stuff before it even happens. You be like, nah.
Yeah.
Like
right
they can say
off the
something. Nah.
Yeah. It's important to get that no out early. That's what I noticed too, because like I would like certain things would happen. It's like, nah, I'll just let it slide. But people will think that, oh, he's perfectly okay with it, and they keep going. And before I'm in too deep, and I can't know my way out of stuff, and it's
too late.
It's too late. Yeah.
Know early. Know thyself.
I tried to think of a bar and it didn't come out.
It's gonna be a good night.
Oh.
It's gonna be a good night. So.
Yes.
So, going into, let's touch on codependency a bit, so we can move into other things.
Okay.
Kind of branch off that.
Okay.
So, a lot of people don't even understand codependency. They don't even really understand that they have an issue with it, or they have some codependency things going on, even in their own relationship. They're not even sure about it, because that's not something that a lot of people talk about.
Right.
Honestly, like me knowing codependency is based off of other people's relationships mostly. So in your own situations, like you've dealt with this prior.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's a hard thing to like? Do you feel like it's like a hard thing to get out of? Like once you're once you're in it, it's like you kind of don't know you're in it until you're already in it.
Yeah.
Type of situation.
Exactly.
And at that point, you're like, oh damn, I'm here.
Yeah.
So like, for a person that doesn't even understand codependency, like how would you explain it?
Most people think of codependency as like, oh, I need this person here, and like I need them to do stuff for me, and I can't do anything by myself. But I've experienced it the opposite way. Like my codependency in one of my relationships is that I had the need to be needed. So it's like I really enjoyed being there for her, doing things for her, like just like not necessarily cleaning up after her, but if she had a problem, I'm solving it. If she had an issue, I'm there. If she needed something, I'll go get it. And that was my codependency. Like I felt good doing stuff for her, but as me feeling good about doing it, as the relationship progressed and later ended, she took advantage of that. She was like, oh, he's going to be there for me. He's going to do whatever I want. And that's what's kind of kept me around for way too long. So while she was doing her own thing, I was still trying to use that. I'll be there for you. I'll do anything you want. I'll go get this and get that, to try to stay in the good graces when she was already gone. So that's how you're in it and you don't know you're in it. It's hard to kind of get out.
And you know, when you say it like that, it sounds so good though. Like, who doesn't want somebody that just wants to do something for them?
Exactly.
That sounds wonderful. But like you said, yeah, it's like when it's not beneficial to you as well, it's kind of like, now I'm just doing.
Exactly.
And getting nothing in return. There's no payoff.
And that's whack and it hurts. But that's another thing. I guess from the other side, it's hard to kind of say no, because if you got somebody that's willing to do anything for you, willing to be there for you, they're always there. You can depend on them whenever you need anything. It's hard to kind of not utilize that.
Man, let me tell you something.
And especially like, oh, you like this too? We're helping each other
Yeah,
out.
you like helping me.
Yeah, and I like to be
wonderful.
helped. It's like, yeah, but no.
Like, what about me?
And I'm like dying inside.
But you like helping me, so I'm helping you.
I know, but like, what about me? Give me something that I need. And you're like, nah, I don't owe you anything.
Yeah. You know what you
I hate
need?
that phrase, man.
You know what you need?
What?
To owe me something. That's what you need. Yeah, no. I don't, that whole, you don't owe me, I don't owe you anything. Okay, yeah. Let's touch on that.
Okay.
That whole saying, I don't owe you anything. Me personally, I say that sometimes because I don't owe anybody anything. Just like I don't expect them to think they owe me anything. I think it's the way that you say it. I think it's in the way that you say it. Because I understand why you would be like, I hate that phrase.
Yeah.
Because I would hate that phrase too if I'm doing everything for you and you sitting there saying, I don't owe you anything. So I don't owe you anything is like a slap in the face to somebody that's doing everything for you.
Yeah. But that's the codependency part. Like half of me was like, I'm doing all this stuff for you. You should do that stuff for me.
Yeah.
But the reason I hate that phrase is because she was right. Like at that point, she didn't owe me anything, but I still expected it because I was still doing all this stuff for her.
But look at me.
You know what I mean? I didn't owe her anything either, but I was so deep into it. I kept giving and giving, expecting something in return, and she didn't owe me that. But yeah, it's a slap in the face. I still hate it.
What she do owe you is an apology, but we're not gonna go there.
I mean, like for real. But yeah.
It's cool.
It's all right.
That's good.
It's all right. Sometimes you gotta like move on. Oh, okay. True that. Sometimes you gotta be able to. You gotta be able to move on without the apology that you think you deserve. That's the tough part.
Let me tell you something. When you get there, though, when you get to the point where you can move on without expecting an apology for shit you know they need apologies for, you in control.
Yeah.
If you're not waiting on no apology or you ain't waiting on no closure, you in control. Because I'm going to close it, baby, because I don't want you to come back. Close.
Clearly, right?
I'm going to take you to dinner and all of that. And we're going to close it. But
yeah, that is tough. I just like all this stuff I'm telling you, I'm just learning. Like probably the past 365 days, like legit, I learned all this stuff. And I'm still kind of learning.
I'm so proud of him.
Oh. It's a big help to you, like for real. You've been bestowing your wisdom and all of your breezyisms.
Thank you, kind sir.
You know what I mean?
Like,
keeping me aligned.
Every once in a while.
You know what I mean? This
Come
helping. This helping.
through.
Right.
Did you miss us? We're back.
We're back.
We are back.
We're back with season 2 of Black Women Connecting Communities.
Make sure you check us out at blkwomencc.com for all of our blogs.
We have a store, y'all. We have different articles. So make sure you keep it locked to wowuradio.net and check us out and share it with everyone.
And also make sure you follow us at blkwomencc on all social media platforms.
Because we are back. I hope you enjoyed season 1, but season 2, we're coming with a vengeance.
Welcome back.
Welcome
to Lessons from My Exes, the podcast.
Yes.
We took a brief break, from our sponsors. I had to give y'all a little message from our sponsors, and now we're back. And I'm still here with my guest, Silent T Chaos itself. I love saying it like that.
So, that's hilarious. I've been called everything from tacos. Somebody called me Teach Yourself. I don't get it.
So what's the T for?
The T, it used to be for like total. Like, oh, total chaos. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But then like, it was long. Cause like, back in the day, when people were rapping, everybody's name was Chaos. Chaos this, Chaos that. I was like, yo, but I like Chaos because like, that's what's in my head.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, so I'm gonna be Total Chaos. There's people named Total Chaos. So I was like,
oh my God.
So I'm gonna be everybody's Chaos, but I'm Chaos itself. You know what I mean? But I put the T on there because I just like how I look. And like when the T and how it's spelled, if you type that in, nothing,
you're the only one.
I'm the only thing that comes up. So I just kept it that way. But it is silent.
Origin stories.
You know
we
what I mean?
love.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
love.
Yeah.
All right. So circling back, circling back into relationships, since that's what we talk about somewhat here. What would you say the ideal relationship for a person like yourself would be? I mean, you're a poet, you're expressive, you're someone who obviously can communicate pretty well. What would be like the ideal relationship for someone like yourself?
I think the ideal relationship is a relationship with honesty, a relationship with good communication. Like in the past, I had certain relationships where it was bad for me to voice certain grievances because women would flip it and turn it around and not take responsibility for their actions, and that was bad. But like a relationship where I can express my emotions, she can express her emotions, we can communicate about certain issues or certain good things to improve all the time. I think that's really good. And as a poet, I mean, some people, there's a thing going around like never date a poet for whatever reason. Everybody has their own reason for that. But I'm the type that would never write a poem about whatever that we're going through. I don't know. I don't write about relationships while in a relationship. But even after a relationship, I wouldn't do it directly. Like I would like sprinkle this and flip it and turn it around and make me the bad guy rather than you know what I mean? But yeah, but that's the misconception of dating a poet. But with me, the ideal relationship is good communication and paying attention to each other, understanding the love languages and like, you know, reciprocation. You know what I mean? It's not a lot of, I mean, I won't say I'm not like hard to please, but I just got a little small set of stuff, you know.
What are those?
It's I mean, it's of course it's respect. Respect my feelings, my thoughts on situations, my, I would say opinions, but just like respecting how I feel about certain situations.
Okay.
And I think that's probably the biggest thing, because I've been through a lot of that. They just like cast it all aside and it'll just be like all bad. But
it's funny that you brought up the misconceptions of dating a poet, because I was absolutely going to go into that. Because of the episode of Girlfriends when Lynn was dating Common, who was a poet, and she brought him and he dogged her. She came to the poetry spot with another man that she like was interested in, who's also a poet. So she came to their spot that he introduced her to with another man, and he went all he did this poem about her being loose and fast and all around town, giving it up, all of that. So he felt a way about Common. He's like, come on, man. And then she felt a way because she's like, I'm trying to have this good impression on this new guy, but Common wasn't having that because you're gonna bring him to our spot. So,
fun fact.
Oh,
that literally happened to me in real life. It was a poetry spot, and next I had brought another guy there when I was there, and I had to fight the urge because I've written. I was going to do a poem, and in my head I wrote 8 bars about her and this guy, and I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna go on stage and I'm gonna just like tear him apart and just leave." But for some reason, I didn't do it. I just did my poem and left. So there is that urge as a poet to use the microphone to kind of air out your grievances. But
you're such a good guy.
To a fault sometimes. At least I think. I should have gave him bars. Like them James was like.
I just wish I would have been there.
Yo, that was a rough night.
Well, I'm glad it's not happening anymore.
Yeah, you know, you learn from it.
You live, you learn.
Are we forgetting that you can sing? Like well. You know what I mean? Like
just
well.
a little bit. So I'm so glad he brought that up. Oh, I was gonna go there. All right, so you being a poet, have you ever dated someone who expected you, because you were a poet and because you're an artist, did you you ever date someone that expected you to always, like, it's like when you date singers, they always want you to sing. Like, if you ever dated a girl, it's like, oh my God, write me something. Did you write me something? Did you? Oh my gosh. Is this about me? Like, have you ever dealt with that?
Not really, because it didn't really get that far.
Okay.
Like most of the times, women be like, "Oh, you're a poet. Oh, how you do this?" Or like, "Help me write my stuff," or be like a mentor. Look over the. So it's like they don't really like me. They like me being a poet, and they want me to help them write.
I'm over there. It's like, no.
You know what I mean? And like some women will be like, "Oh, we should do a poem together," and like work that in there. But then they don't really put in the effort of doing the poem, and they kind of, I don't know. It's dating as a poet is weird sometimes.
What is that like? Like, I would think because you're a poet, you get all the ladies.
I mean, not me.
Okay.
I know poets that do get all the ladies and it comes fairly easy to them, but like I'm very socially awkward. So like me on stage and just engaging with the crowd and being so free is not me off stage, because I'm like, yo, I just want to go. I just want to leave. Like I want to talk to people, but then I don't. I be all to myself. So I don't know. Maybe I missed that kind of boat, but it just it's weird because I'm a poet and I like to do poetry, and people like my poetry, but I don't want to date women that are, for a lack of a better term, fans. Like they like me as a poet rather than me as a person.
Yes.
So that's always weird. But I haven't found that kind of balance just yet.
I was about to say, because yeah, that's tough.
And that falls into like, oh, you're a poet. You should say something. You're so poetic. I love how you talk. But it's like, now you want me to be a poet all the time. You know what I mean? And I just want to
That's what you mean.
That's what you mean. I want to chill and talk about wrestling or something.
You like wrestling?
I love pro wrestling. Oh my gosh. That's a nerd fact. Like, I love pro wrestling. Like, no, I'm not talking about that. But I love pro wrestling. Not just like WWE and all that stuff. I like AEW, like New Japan, and all the not obscure, but the lesser known, more of athleticism. But I'm not gonna get too nerdy, but that's one of my passions.
So what's another thing about you that no one knows?
Other than I'm socially awkward and I don't know how to talk to people off stage. I mean, people kind of know that I'm a gamer and I play video games. I love rock music.
He has a System of a Down shirt on.
System of a Down is my absolute favorite band of all time. Like, they're amazing. They released 2 songs last year, and that's the first thing they dropped something in 15 years. Mesmerize is their greatest album. But I like rock music to a point. I like certain bands, like System of a Down, Disturbed, Evanescence. They came out with a really good album this year. But I'm trying to.
I didn't even know that.
It's really good.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Damn.
But I try to branch out, but I like my core rock people for a long time. Like, all the bands I named has been around for 15 years.
Yeah. So you like more heavy metal, or
It's more heavy metal, but not death metal. It's like a medium. My metal has to have a melody.
Not just a bunch of screaming.
Not just a bunch of screaming. I can't get with that. So it's like Metallica, like groove metal, like something that's along those lines, like that. So that's, some people don't really know.
Oh, that's cute. Yeah. that's cute.
Thank you.
So I'm already hip to this, but
okay.
You being a poet, what's it like dating other poets?
It is it's interesting because since both of you are poets, you're very good at expressing yourself.
I just can only imagine them the kind of conversations y'all have.
It can go either way. You can have a very good conversation about life and what you're into, and you connect really fast. Or an argument can be really big, and both of y'all think y'all have good points, and y'all express it really well, and y'all don't really listen. It's weird.
Wow.
But at the same time, dating a poet, you write stuff. Oh, I wrote some of this, and you can say it to the other person. Oh, I understand what you're saying. I wrote something like this. I was like, I get that, and you kind of collaborate and give insight. That's like sharing a common interest. Like in the same kind of industry, you connect. You know what I mean? But it's ups and downs.
Okay, that's like any relationship.
Like any relationship. I don't know if I would recommend it, but I just falls and never date a poet. I don't know. I get what they're saying now, but it's still cool.
I've never.
Have you dated an artist, like a singer?
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
It's worse.
It's worse.
Dating an artist is already hard enough. You know, I know.
Yeah.
Because artists are so it's in here. Everything is in here. It's always going, right? And if you're depending on what kind of artist you are, it's different layers to that. For example, if you're a multi entertainer, you have just multiple things you do, having a relationship is always gonna come after all of that. Okay? You almost have to be the kind of woman that has her own thing going on, or you have to be the kind of man that has his own thing going on, or you'll constantly feel I'm not getting enough of you. I'm not getting enough of you. And you're not, because their first love is always going to be their art. You're going to always come second to their art. Everything is going to come second to their art. So you have to like mentally prepare yourself for that. So when you're dating an artist, just know you're not first. And you can't give them an ultimatum like, it's me or the music, because they're going to choose the music every time.
Yeah.
It's very rare, because I have seen a situation where somebody did choose a person over their music, but they're miserable. So trust me, let the artist be an artist. Find your own thing. Even if you find something that actually works with them, like maybe you could be their manager or help them with something. If you could do that, that adds you into their world. And that's what they really want. But most people don't want to get in their world. They want to get on their Amber-ish.
Amber. I don't get it. Is that a TV show? I don't
Invincible.
Wow. Okay. I didn't expect that. I will not spoil the show. It's a very good show. You should definitely watch it. But Invincible is my favorite comic book of all time. I don't read a lot of comics, but I read all 144 issues of this thing. Wow. All the way through. And the same guy wrote it, and it connects, and it's like the best story ever. I'm glad they're making it a show so people actually see what's going on. It's amazing. And look at that. Invincible bars, man. I ain't even peep it.
That's how they be. So y'all will understand the reference if y'all see Invincible. But anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not gonna do that right now. We'll do this off cam. We're gonna discuss it off cam.
We are gonna discuss it.
It's wild.
Yeah. So you added something extra to your life. You're now an actor. Well, I mean, you already were an actor, but now you is a film actor too.
Film actor. Yes. I dabbled in it in the past. I was in a play in 2019. A guy named Mark McKinnon put on a musical of sorts in the City of Praise, and I had a small role, and actually did a poem there.
Oh.
You can go on my Instagram at TCals itself to check it out. But recently, I got a role on a movie with like lines and all that stuff. So I'm gonna have an IMDb page and everything, you know. And, that's big thanks to Miss Breezy for hooking me up, putting in a good word, setting me up with the whole thing.
Don't think.
It is a new venture, and I like it. It's very different from what I'm used to doing, and I want to do a lot of new things. I want to do all the things and try all the stuff, and this is falling in line with it.
I wish I could remember what you said to me 2 years ago when we first became friends. You said something about, I wish I can remember exactly how you put it, but you were like saying how you want to do something new, like you want to do something new like every...
Yes, that was the thing. Like I had a thing because I'm not stuck in my ways, but I get very comfortable, and I noticed that, and I want to break out of that. So like there was a time each year I was like, yo, I want to do 20 new things this year, and I made a list, and every time I would do something new, I would write it down. I didn't make it to 20, like in a year, but like this times I made it to like 10 or 11, and I should start it over, but like this whole pan pizza done ruined everything. But
Pandizzi.
You know what I mean? But I wanted to get myself out of that. Like I wanted to get myself out of your comfort zone. They say like the best things happen right outside your comfort zone. So I wanted to do something every year to get myself out of that. And this is one of them. Like, yo, I'm like, I love the voice act. I do little things. Shout out to Command Grab ENT. Gary's heading up the whole operation. I like to do voice acting and do voices and do stuff like that. But actual acting with like in front of the camera, my face.
Your face, yep.
I get super nervous. I'm nervous right now. But to do that and like remember lines and play a whole nother character is very challenging. But I don't want to shy away from it. So let me go full force into it, and like it could turn into something else. Call back to me going to that first poetry spot. I was so nervous of going to that poetry thing, like, yeah, I can't do this. This is not my field. But that one decision outside of my comfort zone led to all of this poetry, like career. So this could be something else.
Career. So that just goes to show you guys, like, if there's something that you want to do, just do it. Like, you never know how far you go. Just do it.
Just do it.
Like Nike, just do it.
Just do it, and do it afraid. Like, you could be scared out your mind, but you doing it afraid is you still doing it. So definitely do it afraid.
If you're scared, you definitely do it.
Yeah, that's how you know it's real.
Wow, I felt that. I feel like I need to do something.
You should do something.
What is it? What should I do? What have I not tapped into yet?
You'll figure it out.
I will.
You'll figure it out.
And what I do?
I have an idea.
You do?
Yeah, I got an idea.
Are you gonna do me now? Are you gonna do me
I'm
now?
gonna tell you later.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you later.
I'm scared.
I know. You should be.
I'm scared.
That's
I'm
see,
scared.
that's how you know it's real. That's how you know it's real.